And 3 times he walked round his mother's couch with his right side towards it, and striking her on her right side he seemed to enter her womb. Thus the conception took place in the midsummer festival. On the next day the queen awoke and told the dream to the king, and the king caused 64 eminent Brahmins to be summoned, and spread costly seats for them on ground festively prepared with green leaves, dalbergia flowers, and so forth. The Brahmas being seated, he filled gold and silver dishes with the best of milk porridge compounded with ghee, honey, and treacle, and covering these dishes with others made likewise of gold and silver, he gave the Brahmas to eat. And not only with food, but with other gifts, such as new garments, tawny cows, and so forth. He satisfied them completely. And when their every desire had been satisfied, he told them the dream and asked them what would come of it. "Be not anxious, great king," said the Brahmas. "A child has planted itself in the womb of your queen, and it is a male child and not a female. You will have a son, and he, if he continue to live the household life, will become a universal monarch. But if he leave the household life and retire from the world, he will become a Buddha, and roll back the clouds of sin and folly of this world." Now the instant the future Buddha was conceived in the womb of his mother, all 10,000 worlds suddenly quaked, quivered, and shook. And the 32 prognostics appeared as follows. An immeasurable light spread through 10,000 worlds. The blind recovered their sight, as if from desire to see this his glory. The deaf received their hearing, the dumb talked, the hunchback became straight of body, the lame recovered the power to walk. All those bonds were freed from their bonds and chains. The fires went out in all the hells. The hunger and thirst of the mains was stilled. Wild animals lost their timidity. Diseases ceased among men. All mortals became mild spoken. Horses neighed and elephants trumpeted in a manner sweet to the ear. All musical instruments gave forth their notes without being played upon. Bracelets and other ornaments jingled. In all quarters of the heavens the weather became fair. A mild, cool breeze began to blow, very refreshing to men. Rain fell out of season. Water burst forth from the earth and flowed in streams. The birds ceased flying through the air. The rivers checked their flowing. In the mighty ocean the water became sweet. The ground became everywhere covered with lotuses of the 5 different colors. All flowers bloomed, both those on land and those that grow in the water. Trunk lotuses bloomed on the trunks of trees, branch lotuses on the branches, and vine lotuses on the vines. On the ground, stalk lotuses, as they are called, burst through the overlying rocks and came up by sevens. In the sky were produced others, called hanging lotuses. A shower of flowers fell all about, celestial music was heard to play in the sky, and the whole 10,000 worlds became one mass of garlands, of the utmost possible magnificence, with waving chowries, and saturated with these incense-like fragrance of flowers, and resembled a bouquet of flowers sent whirling through the air, or a closely woven wreath, or a superbly decorated altar of flowers. From the time the future Buddha was thus conceived, 4 angels with swords in their hands kept guard, to ward off all harm from both the future Buddha and the future Buddha's mother. No lustful thought sprang up in the mind of the future Buddha's mother, having reached the pinnacle of good fortune and of glory. She felt comfortable and well, and experienced no exhaustion of body, and within her womb she could distinguish the future Buddha. Like a white thread passed through a transparent jewel. And whereas a womb that has been occupied by a future Buddha is like the shrine of a temple, and can never be occupied or used again, therefore it was the mother of the future Buddha died when he was 7 days old, and was reborn in the Tusita heaven. Now other women sometimes fall short of and sometimes run over the term of 10 lunar months, and then bring forth either sitting or lying down. But not so the mother of a future Buddha. She carries the future Buddha in her womb for just 10 months, and then brings forth while standing up. This is a characteristic of the mother of future Buddha. So also Queen Maimai carried the future Buddha in her womb, as it were oil in a vessel for 10 months, and being then far gone with child, she grew desirous of going home to her relatives, and said to